YouTube, Danny Staten here on the Daily Dan Blog, and I'm back with another comic book review because it's Tuesday, and that's what I do. I got something we might call the good stuff. That's right, I got Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Number 111 from 2021. Scooby-Doo meets the Mummy! And a special bonus story, too. Oh, we can't go wrong with this, can we? Maybe. We'll see. So we start off in true DC fashion. As we don't waste an inside cover, we're going to shine up some glossy titles for the Super Villains comic book coming out. I can only imagine what super villains are in this book. Our story starts off with the Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. team on their way to the NASCAR race because we know they're big NASCAR fans, right? Big NASCAR fans, Pondo. Are you a NASCAR fan? Do you like NASCAR stories? All right, so on their way to the big NASCAR race, they find themselves run off the road by the evil speed racer ghostly car. Oh my God, somebody don't want Scooby and Shaggy to make the race. So in flashback full panels brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog, big, shiny, glossy 2021 shiny pages that make me want to put my hair out and scream. Anyway, they had a crash, so they headed out to the crash test. They're going to be doing tests for the race, but little did they know, a mummy was the foot as they open the door. Shaggy and Scooby are terrified by a mummy that slams the door in their face. So while training for the race, they must solve a mystery as the other driver shows up. They must solve the mystery of the mummy, which appears on some security footage going rah! Anyway, this race car teacher off a little bit, and all that video was that of the mummy. Shaggy and Scooby are freaking tripping on the mummy as young wannabe mystery chasers like Fred Jr. over here is giving them a lot of questions about their investigation. The teacher left his briefcase in the office, and Thelma's gonna be nosy and find out he got some wooden shoes. He must be gonna do that weird dance you see in them old TV shows. Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop. And since we're doing a race car story in a Scooby-Doo comic book, it wouldn't be right if we didn't bring out Batman Overdrive. Before he was Batman, Bruce Wayne drove a race car. Now I truly want to poke my eyes out with a pencil. And they're going to throw a quick panel or two in between commercials of Scooby and Shaggy encounter the mummy. They dip into a storage closet with toilet paper and pull a "hey, we're mummies too" routine on them, but the mummy quickly sees through that, and Scooby and Shag bust a move and report back to the gang. There's the mummy on the loose. Mummy. And then we get a nightmare. That's right, DC nightmare called Batman Tales. That's right. Little bitty Batman Tales. Once upon a story for all the little 7 and 8-year-olds in the comic book realm. And why does this guy always show up? This guy shows up in almost every comic book review I do. I think he's stalking me. So in full glossy shiny panels brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog, we carry on with our story. That goddamn blah 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 blah. Shaggy and Scooby and the gang are on the investigation for the mummy while they're towing in some cars to rebuild with the shop class to make race cars out of. There's 2 stories at once and it's really hard to follow. Why is the mummy trying to slow down the race? We will have to find out in the further adventures of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. As we go through this dismal nightmare, Shaggy and Scoob go one-on-one with the mummy. The mummy's out to get them. The mummy's chasing them. How come Shaggy and Scooby always wind up running from the bad guys in true Scooby-Doo fashion? So as the mummy prepares to put an end to Shaggy and Scoob, he's hit with his one weakness, a giant water balloon thrown by Daphne. Daphne's on fire. And as he gets hit with a water balloon, Thelma slammed the door on his head. And just to make it worse, Daphne give the door a kick. Squawk! Pull! And excitement like that calls for an immediate commercial. That's right. Diana, Princess of the Amazons. We can see Wonder Woman when she was a kid doing all kind of kid adventures, walking her little dog, Diana, Princess of the Amazons. I think I just threw up in my mouth. Well, needless to say, that put the car blocks on old mummy guy, and as usual, there's only 3 or 4 people in the story. It's no surprise when it turns out to be Teacher Goof. Thelma figured it out from the wooden shoes clip clop in his briefcase. He was trying to slow them down so they wouldn't be able to pass the test and enter some race. What? And from Northrop Grumman, that's right, Michael Northrop, we get Dear Justice League. Yeah, stories and letters written to our superhero friends by all you kids, answered by the heroes themselves, enough to make you want to cry like a little. And with more full panels brought to you by the Daily Dan blog. After solving the problem with the fake-ass mummy, Scooby-Doo and the gang head on over. Get prepared for their race. They're going to send the mummy and this sidekick off to jail. Yay. And now maybe we can get to that NASCAR race action as they head over to the Speedway. Because, you know, we love NASCAR. And, of course, oh, my God, '01. The Dale Hart car. You think that might be a Dale Earnhardt pun? Dale Hart. Dale Hart, '01. I don't guess they could get the Earnhardt name. Anyway, Shaggy and Scooby are eating it up. Brady found a shirt with the logo monster. Terry the Monster? Terry the Monster. Terry the Monster. It must be that speedway up north with the big monster, right? What is that speedway where they got the Monster Mile and that big monster standing out front? I remember that from NASCAR days, but I think it's in Michigan or Michigan. What? And you know what happens as soon as the race is about to start? A real giant monster from the Monster Mile comes out. Now that's what I call a true cryptid. A true cryptid encounter like you would find in book 1 of Bigfoot Michigan Rob's True Cryptid Encounters, or a story you would probably hear on the Eric Wood podcast. And I guess it's that time where we say be sure to check out the good stuff, guys. Pat McCormick at the Golden Ranger TV. Be sure to check out Thrash Pondo Ponds, the guy who saved every one of us. Be sure to check out my good friend Dave Sunstorm and his incredible brother Steven Sunstorm, the Good Stuff Brothers, as well as all my good stuff buddies like the Unapologetic Geek, Retro Nerd Girl, the Nostalgic Podcast Blast, the Nostalgic Pod Blast. I gotta get that right. My flock is everywhere, Sarah. Corey's Comedy Channel, Big Guys 45's Big K on the air. You know, and of course, Brainbender Banters. My friend Missy. On your marks, get set, Ghost! And here's the people who wrote it and draw it. And here's the people we can blame for it. Oh my God. Well, it's a smash and crash as old Dale Hart's tearing up his car trying to avoid monsters that vanish in a poof. And Shaggy and Scooby and the gang, oh my God, are in the pit crew trying to keep the cars a-rolling. Look, the big monster just went poof. How is that even possible? It must have been a hologram or a projection. Yeah, that's right. We're on top of things as old Dale Hart seemed to be a little bit intoxicated, not a little silly from his spin through the outfield. Shaggy and Scooby thinking, I better take this thing over. Daphne and Thelma are checking out with binoculars, watching guys in the booth enjoying the show a little too much, and some dastardly-looking guys creeping around in the balcony. I would say these are our bad guys. This is one of the only 4 people that's appearing in this comic book other than Shaggy and Scooby. Hey, Scooby, maybe we need to take that car for a drive, dude. And a dismal nightmare story like this deserves a 13-year-old Green Lantern. That's right, no pressure. You could be 13, you could be a superhero, you could make me want to pluck my eyes out with ink pens for having to look at this ridiculous kid version of the Green Lantern. Oh my God. You know, I like a little bit of comic book with my commercials. Just letting you know, DC, just maybe a little bit of comic book. It's Dale Hart. Apparently, he took a bad spill. He's still wibbly, he's still wobbly. And the monster is lurking around. The tar monster, the Michigan monster, the Motor Mile monster has come to life and is lurking around, spooking Shag and Scooby. Oh my God. DC is a commercial-ridden nightmare today. That's right, it's a commercial-ridden nightmare as we get a commercial for the anti-heroes. You know, the good bad guys, and they're looking cool, sleek, and sexy. Be sure to check out Anti-Hero, the new good bad guys. What? With Dale Hart. Dale Hart. I can't used to saying that because I'm a Dale Earnhardt guy. I'd be saying Dale Earnhardt, but Dale Hart's a little incapacitated. The big monster's on the loose, and Shag and Scoob pop in 01. They hop in the race car. They're going to do their best Dukes of Hazzard imitation in that mod car race as they take off down the track to run from the monster, being chased by the big tar creature. Oh, God, help me, please. And it looks like we're going to get a commercial every other page till the end of the book. As we learn about Swamp Kid, you know, Swamp Thing, illegitimate son of Swamp Thing and Daphne. We get Swamp Kid. That's enough to make you want to cry too, isn't it? And with the monster giving pursuit, Shag and Scoob have entered the race. How they both had helmets that say 01, we'll never know. The monster's attached itself to the back of the car, freaking Shag and Scooby out. As it crawls ever closer, Shag and Scoob go faster and faster and faster. The monster seemed to be catching some air. And, of course, you know what that means, right, guys? It's time for Lois Lane and the Friendship Challenge. That's right. Lois Lane was 12. Lois Lane made friends. Lois Lane was a kid and got her own comic book. And I truly am going to throw up right now. So, with the unintentional help of the great giant monster from the Motor Mile, Shag and Scoob become victorious. They win the race. They cross the checkered line first with a monster in tow. Can you get disqualified for hitchhikers on the car? The monster lets go and seems to be a little bit angry that Shag and Scooby won. Zoinks! The monster's in front of the car now. Whatever will we do? The excitement means another commercial. Of course. This guy shows up again. He's following me. He's tormenting me. We get the Archimaniacs. That's right, little kid versions of all your favorite supervillains. Making you cry even harder and pray for a good comic book of the future. Well, anyway, that monster tried to attach itself to the car again. It did not work out. With a quick stop, the monster flew through the air into a giant rubber bouncy monster. The big monster, what? And it bounced off the balloon and flew through the air with the greatest of ease, splotting into a pile of tires with a big crash. What? And we get a commercial next for something called Primer. It's a new hero. It's a new hope. And since it's years old, it failed miserably because we never heard of Primer. It was on sale and nobody cared. And guess what, Primer? I don't think nobody still cares. And we prepare to wrap up another Scooby-Doo mystery. As Scooby and Shag win the race. Yeah, they're going to get a trophy. The monster's all wrapped up in a pile of tires, and we're going to rip off this mask to find out we don't know who this guy is. And who are you? It's just some random guy, and nobody knows who you are, but you're captured now, and Shag and Scooby are the heroes. The end. What a horrible story. And, of course, we have to have another commercial, but this time we get a commercial for something somebody might actually enjoy. That's right, Scooby-Doo Batman Adventures. Scooby-Doo and Batman Mystery. Scooby-Doo and Batman team up to save the day. That's a comic book I'd like to check out. What about you? And in true DC fashion. What do you think, Pons? True DC fashion. We wind up with Zatanna and the House of Secrets commercial. More crap that nobody cared about from 2022. And I'm back. Back in the Metropolis groove. Back in the Metropolis groove. Oh my God, Metropolis groove. More kids living in Metropolis. Seeing Superman fly overhead and not being able to do nothing with him. And probably don't even appear in a comic book because DC's Metropolis groove really... Oh, I can't say that on YouTube. Now this is one really cool back cover. They didn't waste it. They got the Flash. They got Supergirl. They got fun. Flash facts. Oh, hold it tight. You can pause it. You yourself can read through the incredibly fun Flash facts that I will not be narrating and reading to you because you're not 6.